What is up, guys? You got Not the Worst here, bringing you this week's patch notes recap. And let me tell you, if you were hoping to have another event that's going to completely fill your inventory because the items aren't stackable, well, guess what? Old NT Dubs has got the patch note review for you. Here we go. Let's check this bad boy out here. We got the Cakewalk event. If you remember the Thanksgiving event where they had the item drops coming out, this is pretty much just like that. You can fish, gather, or kill stuff, and you get these guys here, honey, bean, and sesame, and they do not stack at all. So clog up your inventory with a whole bunch of these, especially if you are at any place with like high mob density, Nagas, Crescents, stuff like that, Fogans, anything like that. It's gonna, high mob density, you're going to fill this stuff up like crazy, for sure, very quickly. The rewards are also, I believe, the same as what they were with the turkey event thing. You combine the three of them, has to be those three, in that order actually, and then it makes a little moon rice cake event thing, and you can get this stuff here. The pearl box, which is like 1 in a billion odds or whatever. Bunch of gold, dandy box, Zarka, Nuver, Ogre Ring, Sissels, Bazzi, Tungrad, a 15 awakening box, which is meh, Calci Ring, BMCs, fishing boat ship license, interesting, ancient weapon core, yeah, the standards, Cronstone memory fragments. You're gonna get a bunch of blackstones, I'm sure, throughout this, and maybe some hards and that sort of thing. Magic fluid collectors for sure. And there you go. Yep. So pretty much just like those. That's that. We've had this kind of thing before. It's just very, 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 very frustrating when we don't have stackable items. I really hate that about this event. But otherwise, any drop event's pretty good when they stack. Aside from that, we got this guy, Mamor, back. It's a world field boss, I should say, that spawns certain specific times. You have to have a match lock to hit him. And you kill him, and you can get this stuff: a taxidermied brown bear, or any of these guys here, Hunter, Steel, Forest Fury. Good luck with that. Blackstone, Pure Forest Breath, yada yada. And here's what your taxidermied bear things will do, depending on which event type it was: overhyped, lethal, etc. You can see the buffs listed right there, and that's pretty much it. Again, similar to any of the field boss events that we've had in the past. Serbianka vouchers, we've had this one before too. Basically, while you're gathering, you're going to get you're going to get some amount of vouchers. When you get them, you can turn them in for an extra log. So if you're working on a ship or something like that where you need a bunch of logs, guess what? You're going to get bonus logs, so that'll help you out. We've had that before, not too long ago, actually, 3 or 4 weeks ago. And that covers that. Next one will be Pearl Shop, which we'll jump to once we get through the rest of the notes. Then we also have, there's not going to be any maintenance next week at all. So there's going to be some events that start on that day without the servers going down for maintenance. We have the Send Love event. It's going to be some kind of Valentine's Day event by getting stuff through your daily attendance, login, daily things, pressing the Y key. What do they call them? Challenges. That thing. Valentine's Day screenshot contest and a Valentine's Day themed background. We still have Fortune Favor. This favors the bold running. The Golden Drop event ended, and they gave out a Blessing of Kamisil for 7 days, and we're going to talk about why this matters in a little bit here. But they gave it to everybody who participated in the Shadow Arena before the preseason. Injury system has been added. This is interesting, and I actually had read this initially and then was playing at some point today and got demolished with a Black Spirit Rage. And then it was like, oh yeah, that's why this happened. So basically, here's what's up. Black Spirit's Rage can now be used to inflict injury on enemies, which will prevent them from recovering HP as efficiently. The severity depends on the Black Spirit Rage and the skill damage. Those injured with those skills will temporarily have their max HP decreased. You can't pot above a certain amount. All classes will recover from their injury every 5 seconds by 10 HP. Continuous damage and extra HP MP damage will not cause additional injury. If a character dies, it will no longer be injured when it revives. An injured character will not recover when disconnected. An injured character starts recovering after it is selected in the character selection screen. The following chart can be used to show how much injury is inflicted by Black Spirit's Rage consume. I don't know that we really needed a chart to explain the two things, but we got it. So 100% is 50% injury, and the 200% BSR is 100% injury. There's that chart breakdown. We have an example here if you were able to follow that, which probably not because it wasn't explained super clearly. Fortunately, this example is pretty good. So we have a warrior consumes their 100 BSR by using the skill Spinning Slash to attack a berserker with 5,000 max HP. The warrior will thus inflict a damage of 2,000 HP on the berserker, the damage that he does for the BSR, and the berserker will then have an injury of 1,000 HP, which is 50% of the damage that was inflicted. The berserker can then only recover from its HP of 3,000 that's left up to 4,000 until the injury is gone, because we've inflicted that injury. So we've made effectively his max HP of 5,000 down to 4,000 with this attack. So being a Dark Knight with 3,200 HP, I had this used on me today out at Cadry and didn't know what was going on other than I died in seconds, which isn't, you know, a foreign thing for a Dark Knight, but I was a little confused about the potion healing not exactly working the way I had thought it would. Anyway, so that exists now. It'll be really interesting to see how AoE BSRs are going to be impacted in Node Wars, because, like, I don't know, you have Striker AoE or something, like, go out there, or the Berserker one. Just go out there and kind of, like, nuke dudes and, like, hey, enjoy not being able to heal back to your max HP at all. So that'll be interesting to see there. As far as in 1v1s, I mean, if you got to have your Black Spirit Rage up, because they're going to use it on you if they're coming to take your grind spot or something like that. So be ready for that one. Anyway, we had the Devour function. We talked about this coming to the KR servers last week, and did mention it a little bit, but if you didn't catch that video, basically what happens is you can now take enhanced weapons and armor, and you can turn them into, instead of just extracting for Blackstones, you can essentially extract for fail stacks. So you can see the list right here on weapon enhancement levels. Up to a 15, you get a plus 16 stack here, a prize 20, duo 26 stack, a try 33, tet 45, and pen 75 stack. Most usefulness I'll see is if you're reblath stacking or something like that, and you use reblath to continue stacking up in the pry, duo, try, which some people do. I don't personally, but then like something that actually succeeds, you could end up actually getting the stack if you were trying to build a fail stack off of your reblath or something like, or even Gruntle or something like that, and it succeeds when you didn't count on it. You could potentially just extract it for the fail stack, although there's argument to be made if you end up with like a tech Gruntle piece, you probably just sell it and build the fail stack your own, but at least you have the option now. Something somebody else had pointed out in the chat on a stream earlier today was that if you're at a spot like Cadry or Gahaz or something like that drops a lot of like Rosar weapons, and you're actually running low on inventory space, I think you're better off money-wise extracting those for Blackstones. But if you're in a weird situation where you didn't have inventory space completely needed to free something up, you can actually just call up the Black Spirit, do an extraction right there. You don't have to be at a blacksmith, and grab a stack from one of the Rosars in a pinch if you needed to. Although again, I'd probably just throw away a non-enhanced Rosar weapon and extract Blackstones from the enhanced one, but an option, it exists. Defense gear works a little bit differently because the enhancement levels are a bit different, but you can see that it goes up at pen is 70, prize still the same. Where does it split? Duo, right at duos where it splits, 26 on the weapon and then 25 on their armor, and then it scales down just a little bit on each one from there. So there you go. If you're having problems with fail stacks, or you can also buy stuff off the marketplace and then do it. I think it's a bit more expensive doing it that way than if you fail stack on your own. But if you just can't be bothered to deal with it, or you're having trouble with it, or just had a streak of bad luck and want to circumvent it, at least you have the option there that you could actually go buy some try piece or whatever, and then have a try stack ready to roll if you wanted to do it. Privacy mode's been added. Not much to say about that. You can appear offline to people that have you added, friends list, guild, and all that good stuff. Character can now either use practice matchlock or hunting matchlock to kill seagulls. So I know we were all waiting on that update. Fortunately, we finally got it. I've been staring at those seagulls on the beach for a full 9 months now, wondering when I would be able to use a practice matchlock to actually kill them, and I can finally do it. So the wait is over, and I will continue playing this game now that I can kill those seagulls. Bosses summoned with summon scroll by someone else, as well as other adventurers summon them, will no longer show up on the minimap when the boss is around. It's great. Order the tabs of the guild window will now reset when disbanding a guild alliance. Apprentice system was introduced for guilds. We just talked about this in yesterday's video. This is an effective way to nerf people that were sea monster hunting and swapping guilds during the week to get multiple payouts and circumvent the taxes on it. You now have to be in the guild for 2 weeks before you can actually get your payouts. So this completely eliminates the ability to guild hop from one to the other and circumvent sea monster hunting tax. Shadow Arena got quite a few different things. Been changed that you'll now recover 600 HP over 30 seconds after killing an adventurer. Musa and Kuno were both added to the Shadow Arena. From what I understand, Kuno's offhand weapon AP is not working right now. It's bugged. So we'll see if they fix that in a little bit. They've got some combos and stuff added in, so if you're doing some Shadow Arena stuff, be sure to check that out. They did change up some things for Sork and Berserker as well. DK got quite a bit of change, and the chance to learning Nocturne or Hidden Strike from a skill book's been doubled, and the chance to learning Lunacy of Adir and Airstrike have been halved, so they're trying to balance those skills out overall there, so be sure to check that out. Now, this is something, when I mentioned that Blessing of Kamasilv earlier, that this struck me in an interesting way. So it says, when using a Blessing of Kamasilv, you can now obtain a Shadow Arena chest in addition to the black rocks you obtain as rewards for rankings in the Shadow Arena. You can receive one of the following rewards according to your rank for each Shadow Arena match. You'll receive one of the following from obtaining the Shadow Arena chest. So if you get a first place chest, this is the Shadow Arena chest that you get only when you have a Blessing of Kamasilv on, okay? And you can see Tungrad stuff in there, Ogring Bazzi, Crescent Guardian, Sissels, and 3 memory fragments. So you could potentially get 3 memory fragments. Second place chest, you can see the stuff listed here. 3rd to 5th, you get it there. 6th to 10th, you can still get Crescent Ring in that. 11th through 20th, Narc Earrings is your top there, down to Blackstones. Now, why I wanted to point out that, like, that sounds cool on paper. The problem is when we've talked about videos previously about when we're trying to decide, you know, what exactly constitutes pay to win, what is pay to win, and that sort of thing. This is kind of directly pay to win. Not even kind of. This is directly pay to win in the sense that you're giving access to something for people that paid for something out of the gift shop, like with money, blessing and Kamasil, that you do not have access to at all without getting it. In other words, it's completely unobtainable to people just playing the game, which I don't think is the right way that this should have been handled. I think a more correct or more fair way to have done this should have been that these boxes have a percentage chance to be obtained when you finish this. In other words, give the availability to everyone, whether they have a Blessing of Kamasil or not. And this is from someone that I 24/7 use Blessing of Kamasil. 100% I always use it. And even in that scenario, it should have been you have the ability to get this, or percentage chance of getting this, but you have like a much higher one with Blessing of Kamasil, or, you know, even like 75% chance you get it if you don't have a blessing, and you always get it if you have a blessing. Like, I would have been cool with that, but you straight up can't get it if you don't have Blessing of Kamasil. I don't like that. I don't like that you're limiting what you're getting. It's not like a drop rate thing. Like, you just can't, you're not getting this box unless you have a pay to win item, the Blessing of Kamasil. Not a huge fan of that, but we'll see if community feedback can change that moving forward from there. You can now spectate even when a party member's far away during party mode. Add a Shadow Arena rankings through the escape menu, and Shadow Arena rankings have been changed as follows. You can see them from here as far as the Blackrock things that you get. The Radiant from 2 to 10. The one that was 3 to 5 you get from 11 to 20 now. 6 to 10 you get 21 to 30, and 11 to 20 you get 31 to 40. So higher payouts there. AP and DP will now increase when your Black Spirit experiences growth. Your Black Spirit will grow depending on the number of remaining survivors. Information will be marked in the UI of the map. You can see the chart right there for how many. Firebombs amount adjusted, decreased movement speed, stun duration for stun traps been decreased, maximum amount of points for survival time has been limited to 200 points at most. Improved some UI stuff, a couple of issue fixes, animation fix, quick slots will automatically be locked when you possess a character's Black Spirit. Special effect added to name the winners. Reworked the arena stats, issue fix, added a tooltip for the parties, and so on. So we got game world. Additional seagulls have been added to Velia and Portafuria, so good news there. Not only do we get to shoot them now, we can shoot even more of them. Excellent. Change the camera view during interactions with an NPC. Mounts, big deal here. Monetary value of tier 1 through 8 coursers and dream horses has tripled in the horse market, breeding market, and imperial delivery. Additionally, the horse market fees will decrease depending on the training level in a future update. Basically, the issue where boats intermittently didn't move when characters mounted on them. This seems to me just to be something that was necessary. It was listed on the, I don't remember if it was the test server or the Korean server in a previous patch note, so we kind of knew this was coming. This just makes sense. Number one, training horses wasn't nearly as valuable as it was previously as the inflation of silver existed, and we're going to have massive amounts of inflation coming when the new marketplace does finally come to NA and EU servers, and this kind of makes them a little bit more appropriate. There was a dream horse that got listed for like 10 billion at some point while I was on earlier today, and I don't know that it sold right away either. I actually didn't see how that panned out, but it was definitely somebody holding on to it, waiting for this update, since it's a little more in line with what they're actually worth. Issue fixes, class changes, same old stuff. Skill pedal drill has been changed. Stun on good hits and PvE only, and now it's bound on good hits. Still PvE only. You can now use flow, skill stepping in succession up to only 2 times. Issue fix. Same old stuff across the board, except for Lawn got a description change from damage times 4% just to fix there, and then Archer got all kinds of adjustments, including some of their attacks being much faster, and these guys are pretty bonkers right now. So definitely, if you're an Archer and you want to see that, definitely check it out. I know some of my friends were telling me the animation speed of Meteor Dive was like absolutely insane, which you can see casting speed for it will increase as its skill level increases. It's very, very fast now. Tons of people are working out new combos and stuff. Archer's just got a bunch of buffs across the board, which is no surprise because it's their newest class and they want everybody to play it. But definitely check it out if you're an Archer player, because there was some huge upgrades for Archer across the board. This one was also known from Korean patch coming up. The weight limit from value pack was increased to 200 from 100 previously. Fixed some recipe issues. Description to fluffy milk bread was adjusted that about when the health level increases. Some description about maximum capacity for registrations and mount registrations. You can now exchange token of promise items for dim magical armor and dim magical sub weapons. They talked about that in a previous update. If you deleted those, they were going to give you an ability to be able to go back and get them. Monster changes. AP and HP for the boss monsters for the Black Spirit quests were adjusted. Abandon Iron Mines, Elezra Servant, and Awakened Black Spirit all had AP and HP adjusted accordingly. Monsters near Iron Mines have moved to another area. Interesting. Monster population Pila Ku jail has been increased. I haven't checked it out yet, but that's coming in a future video, 20 hours of Pila Ku, so expect that in 2 weeks from now. Changed the placement of some of the monsters at Soldier's Grave area. Adjusted the chances of obtaining scroll written in ancient language when defeating monsters at the Valencia Monster Zone. I talked about this in yesterday's video, as this was on the Korean servers a week ago, so we knew that this was coming. Essentially what they did was create it so that the drop rate of the scrolls in Valencia are equalized to an extent. So places that had it a little bit on the upper end, Gahas, Crescents, Fogans, Akhman and Histria, shockingly, were brought down a bit, although their average is still higher than the others, and with good reason. Centaur was increased 20. The big boy, Cadry runes. If you didn't catch my video yesterday, I was saying Cadry's going to become the next Gahas as far as PvP wise, and that is exactly true. I had tons and tons of PvP trying to get a couple of hours at grind at Cadry in because of this drop rate increase. It's not that this is dropping. First of all, Cadry didn't drop scrolls like at all before. You'd get 1 or 2 an hour if you're lucky, right? So 350% times 0 is still 0, is the joke there. But of course, just seeing this number, everyone and their mom's been at Cadry all day long. So if you want to check it out, be ready to PvP more than you even did at Gahas previously, because it's a hot spot right now. Reason for that, the scroll drop is now in line with what Gahas is doing too. In addition to, you also have the rings that drop, so you can melt them for Yona fragments. You can just sell them outright when they're at a nice price anyhow, and it drops pieces that can be combined into the rings, so you get a lot of options as far as that is. So it has everything Gahas has, except it also has a valuable ring to it as well. It's just strictly better. So unless this is adjusted in drop rates or something, or they revamp this again coming up, which I don't see them doing at least anytime soon, then you can forget about Gahas, because Cadry is going to be the new spot. The only thing about there is the rotations aren't as plentiful as Gahas. It's a good like 1 or 2 guy spot. Other than that, you're going to be overlapping and running into each other a lot. So yeah, a lot of duels, a lot of PvP for that spot in general, but still cool to see. Opens up some options. Didn't head out to Centaurs yet, but I do want to do a 20 hours at Cadry video. I got about 4 in so far today, but I may have to cool off on it because it's just such a hot spot with this new update out. Before I'm going to be able to put in 20 hours, it's just going to be a really skewed numbers with a bunch of PvP. It was like 20 to 30 minutes of fighting for a spot every hour kind of thing. Some quest adjustments fixed the issue we couldn't properly complete what happened to refugee camp. NPC for completing some quests here will now be Elfagrin, not Margaret. Quest Lost Gift Adventurers Tome has been added. Ritual quest has been improved when talking to Martha Kian during the quest. The camera will now show way towards the hidden area. Quest that needs to be completed in order to be able to interact with the unstable crevice for which you get the lilac petal has been changed. Some knowledge updates here. You can check out that, the Veli Adventure Journal. This was for people that have not yet gain the knowledge of these items here. They have hints that were added along to it, so you can check those out here in the list if you need to. The link for these patch notes is in the description below to take a look at those. I saw bosses and stuff in there too, but anyways, there's that. Some interface changes. Enhancement chance would appear as 100% when having checked force enhance was fixed. Add a description removed from Guild Alliance. When you need to scroll due to the length of the text at the bottom of the Guild Alliance, the placement of the descriptions will now be displayed more naturally. Bringing mouse cursor over fixed. Today's playtime time passed. Displayed in 2 lines. A question mark button leads to the wiki page. Will now be displayed in the recover max durability window. Issue fix. Improve locations for stickers and UI. Game tip thing. Fix some issues with text. Opacity control. Cursor and chat window. Etc. Etc. Fixes. Cool. Resolved issues. These are graphical and costume fixes for different characters there, so we don't really need to jump into those. We know we have those every single week that there's stuff there. Some graphical fix issues with DirectX 11. Issue about node benefits not being applied when characters were underground in Gaifanrasia Temple. Some other issue fixes, background fixes, improved navigation, alignment issues, alleviated problems with certain notifications, and fixed an issue with Mana Fortitude not being attacked. Known issues, aware of an issue where the color for certain dialogue text occasionally appears wrong. Aware of and currently fixing an issue where skill trait icons for certain skills are not being displayed. Where the Guildmaster rights and commands are visible to other guild members, however the buttons are not functional. It'll be fixed in future maintenance. Notice your client may force quit if you are playing BDO while using illegal programs, so don't cheat or the game might crash on you. Surprise. Pearl Shop, here's what we got going on. We got a big old pay to win loot box here. So this thing basically has a chance to give you different items. Oh, it didn't give me the breakdown here. It basically, you can get different items out of this loot box thing. No, here's number one, don't buy this. You actually can't buy it in Belgium because it's against like loot box rules there. They don't have like FIFA loot boxes and stuff too, because it's like gambling in a game essentially. So completely removed. It does come with value pack, artisan pack, the golden pouch thing that we're talking about, blessing, common silver, combat book, item collection, and scroll, increased scrolls times 30. And then this fortune pack can either, on each roll, it gives you X item or another pack. And if it gives you the pack, you open it and you can get a higher grade item and or another pack, and so on and so forth. To like, if you get really lucky, you can open this pack up to, I don't recall what the top prize. It was actually really good, but it's like straight up loot box gambling. Just don't buy this thing. We don't want this in our game. Don't put it in there. Don't support it. Don't buy it. Leave it alone and forget about it. Lucky Moonlight package. This is fine if you needed a new up on your value pack. You'll get an inventory expansion and 100 artisan memories along with it. If you want to get that, it's a pretty decent deal. If you needed to re-up, if you don't worry about it. Double panda pack, self-explanatory. You get a panda and some food and stuff. 2 pandas and some food and stuff. Rather, outfit 20% off coupon. They've introduced the new ferret pet, so it's a premium type. You just get the one out of the box, so you gotta get a few of those to combine them up if you want to get a higher tier one, or combine with some other premiums. It's pretty standard price for what we see. A lot of times you can get the 2,200 pearls for the 2-pet box, so that's not out of this world. So some new outfits. Warrior got Red Robe Classic, Berserker Red Robe Classic, and the Long got Frostbite outfit. They're interesting looking. This is kind of cool. Like, Berserker looks goofy, but when don't Berserkers look goofy, let's be honest. So limited time outfits on sale. Check them out there if they're of interest to you. Got furniture prop set over here, and that is all for the patch notes then. So that is all that we're going to talk about for the patch notes and Pearl Shop update. Other things going on, I do have... I'm doing 20 hours at Cadry. That video is going to be coming out pretty soon, so be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, if you want to catch future videos that are coming up. We got the live streams coming up this weekend, going to be going for Pen Dandy once again. So if you haven't already, be sure to check out the Twitch link page and drop a follow over there so that you can get a notification when we go live. It's going to be Saturday night and then some day hours on Sunday as well. So that should be a lot of fun too. And that's it. Make sure you like this video if you did enjoy it or it was informative to you, and let me know what you guys think about some of these items, that fortune pack and then that blessing of Comet Sylve buff, I guess, in Shadow Arena, what you think about that, or anything else that was going on in the patch notes comments. Want to hear back from you guys, get a little discussion going in the comments. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. Everybody, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.